Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and today on the podcast, the logistical issues that have crippled us in 2021 are going to continue to cripple us at least the whole way through 2022. This is something that you need to be across. You need to stop listening to the coffee bros that are saying, don't worry, it'll all be fine. You need to really buckle down and figure out how this is going to influence and affect the way that you participate, whether you work in coffee or whether you own a business in coffee. This is all really, really important. So we're going to deep dive into why this is happening and why it's not going to end anytime soon. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and hit the little notification bell. And also, if you're listening on podcast listening apps, please subscribe as well and rate and review. Thanks to our episode sponsor, Baratza. Head to the show notes, click on their link, and check out the manual brewing grinders they have available for everybody. So, logistics, it's crippling. We all thought it'd be over by now. Well, many people thought it'd be over by now. And it's not. And it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. Why are we in this mess? So let's recap that. We're in a pandemic. Pandemic's not finished. The first wave of the virus happens. It pretty much shuts down everything. People are trying to figure out how to make things happen. Everyone gets into their house. They start ordering a ton of stuff, from furniture to bikes to clothes to electrical goods, etc., etc. Manufacturing companies are shut down. They're able to get back into manufacturing as soon as they can. They start making goods, they start shipping goods, and then they realize that there is some things that can make it onto the boats while other things can't make it onto the boats. The stuff that they can get onto the boats, they ship and it starts moving. Certain ports around the world start to experience wave after wave of COVID outbreaks. They have to shut down. Different manufacturers start to experience COVID outbreaks. They have to shut down. Some parts of the world open back up. They can start receiving into their ports. They can start shipping different goods from their small businesses. They run out of goods. They're waiting for new stocks to come in from other countries. They can't come in from other countries because in the country that's manufacturing it, there's a backlog. There's a backlog because the factory's shut down or because the port can't release the ships or the stock onto the ships to get it out here. It becomes a nightmare. People stop buying cars, which is fine for a minute, except that the microchips that go into the cars, once people do start buying them, the brand new cars, can't be shipped because there's nobody making them. They've run out of microchips. Fast forward and we keep moving through the pandemic. What we end up with is the issues going on with the Suez Canal that create a backlog. You'd think that when they resolve it, that would be fine, but it's not fine because you've got ports that have been backlogged. You've got trucker strikes happening. You've got people getting sick in ports. And once they do have an outbreak, they have to shut down again. So if you take, for example, the ports at Long Beach, that port usually only has one or two ships waiting off the coast for not very long at all. You have over 100 vessels that are waiting off that port now for weeks. They can't come in because they can't find enough truck drivers that can take the containers off the ships and put them back into the warehouses. Why can't they find enough truck drivers to do that? Well, because many of the warehouses are full with empty containers. Why are they filled with empty containers? Because there aren't enough truck drivers to take the empty containers back to the ships, and the ships don't have enough time to reload those containers back onto those ships when they're in port because there's too many ships that are waiting off the ports. And that's just a tiny fraction of what's going on with the logistical clusterfuck of the global supply chain right now. We haven't spoken about pricing and how much more exorbitant the pricing is. To get a container of coffee from one country, from an origin country, give you an example, from Brazil, to get a container from Brazil to the west coast of the US, it is costing, previously it cost $2,500. It currently costs $15,000 US just for the shipping. Now, if you think about all the containers of coffee that are trying to get to different places around the world, right now importers are making a big deal out of the fact that we've received our shipment. If you need coffee, we've got coffee. And that's because they are waiting for so much coffee to come in. Now, by estimates, if all things remain in good order, if nothing messes up from now on, the estimates are, best case scenario, this situation resolves itself by the end of 2022. That means no climate issues that end up causing any kind of devastation that prevents logistics from happening. It means that there are no more Suez Canal blockages. It means that there are no more COVID outbreaks at major ports in China or in Long Beach. It means that there are no more truckers' strikes. All of these things, if nothing else goes wrong, then best case scenario, end of 2022 is when this resolves itself. Given what's happened over the last 2 years, the likelihood of nothing going wrong is not good. Now, why do I want you to think about this? Well, because this means that the people who have been promising you that you will get your goods and you will get your packaging and you're going to get your coffee and don't worry about it, Spot Coffee is going to be back, it won't be a problem. I'm not going to tell you that they're lying. What I'm going to tell you is that there are mitigating circumstances that are completely out of their control that you need to be prepared for. And the best businesses are businesses that can proactively plan for things going wrong. How would your business survive if the supply chain constraints that you're experiencing right now continue to escalate? How will you adapt? How will you service your customers? I need you to start thinking about that problem solving today. I need you to start thinking about the other constraints of what may cause a problem for that. In a coming episode, we're going to talk about a global financial crisis that I think is right on our doorstep. If you pair that with this global logistical mess, what happens if the US dollar no longer holds its value and inflation kicks into a much higher rate? How will that affect your business? These are all things that I really want you to think about. These are things that are going to affect you more than I think most people in the industry realize. There are many people out there that are saying, don't worry, it's the coffee industry. We'll figure it out. We'll survive. We'll make it through. And that was great when we were saying that at the beginning of the pandemic. Except now we're all exhausted. Now our tolerance or our stamina for being able to come up with solutions has been worn thin. And so I want you to think about how you prepare you and your staff for another wave of challenges and how you can simplify now, how you can cut back on expending unnecessary energy and expense so that you can weather this situation of the way things are going for at least another year. I anticipate at least another few years. This is not about scaring you or doom and glooming you or anything like that. I'm neither an optimist or a pessimist. I am a realist. I am a hopeful realist. And what I mean by that is I am hopeful that people will lean into what's really happening in their situation and they will come up with solutions to fix problems that they are equipped to fix. That leads to success. Wishful thinking is just another form of denial. Ignoring things is denial. Don't be that person. I wish you nothing but success. I am here to help facilitate that. We have experienced incredible success that I am ridiculously proud of with the businesses that work in the mastermind groups and with one-on-one consulting. Those businesses are doing really, really well. How and why? Well, because we were real about all the challenges they were facing and we came up with solutions without avoiding things. This situation is real, folks. It's more real than most people care to admit. They're trusting leaders to sort this out. It's not happening. You can sort this out. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.